What's going on, everybody? This is Zion Brock. I'm the founder of the Triple Threat Artist Online Producer course. And today I want to do kind of tag along with what we talked about last week. Last week we talked about how to give feedback when people ask for production feedback. And today I'm going to talk about how to ask for feedback. There's a couple, it's very similar, but there's a couple little things to keep in mind on the other side of that conversation. Remember, this is all about starting a conversation. These are just tips for having a really good, meat-filled, juicy conversation that actually is useful and you can come away with some good tips. So when you're asking for feedback, here's a couple things to keep in mind. Number one, you need to know who you're asking this from. So most of you this is gonna apply to you in the fact that you're in a course, you're either in a Facebook group or something like that, and you are asking for feedback from those people in the group. So you already know kind of who you're talking to, but this might also apply to people that are outside of the group. For instance, I like to know how songs are sounding to people that are not musicians at all, that just love music. So I have 5 people, I call them my fave 5, that I like to send my music to and just say, hey, what do you think of this? And I love the fact that they don't have any music experience and they're not producers, they're not songwriters, because all they're listening to is how it just feels with all the other music that's out there, because they usually have a bead on what's out there and what's popular. So that's that kind of feedback. But this is probably tailored. What we're talking about today is more about if you're looking for production feedback, because that's what we teach in the online producer course over at the Triple Threat Artist, is all about music production. So if you're looking for music production thoughts and you're going to post in the group or in a different group, here's a couple things to keep in mind. One is, again, remember who you're talking to. So just keep that in mind because it's going to change how you talk to them. The next is share your intention. So last week we talked about if the person has not shared their intention, ask them, what was your purpose for this song? Because you're sharing right off the bat, go into this sharing, just disclose, hey, this is for an album I have coming up, or this is a cover song, or I'm trying to meet this challenge, or there's a songwriting competition. I'm going after this style. I love this style of music. I'm really trying to make it sound like, a John Mayer song or something like that. But you want to disclose that information so that they know. You might also tell them, hey, I had to do this really quick. So give me a lot of flack, or give me a lot of breathing room here. What's the word I'm looking for? Go easy on me, I guess. Or, hey, I've been working on this for a long time, or I'm collaborating. This is for this. I love this style. This is the genre I'm shooting for. That helps anybody you're asking for feedback. That helps them know how to give feedback to you. So share your intention. You cannot share too much almost. Let them know all the information behind it. It's kind of like the metadata behind your song and what you're doing. Next is after you put it out there, always send a link. Never send an MP3. Put it on a shared drive or Google Drive or Dropbox or whatever. Give them a public link that they can just stream. That's how people do things nowadays in 2018. Do not send an MP3 or WAV file. That would be horrible. And then be patient. The next step is just be patient. A lot of times people can't get back to you immediately. Don't let that is not a reflection on the fact that your stuff may be really, really good or it might be really bad. I don't know. But don't take that personally if it takes a while for people to get to it. A lot of us are really, really busy. I would love to just spend time. I love giving people feedback on music. I'm passionate about it, but I can't do it that often because I don't have the time. It takes time. You're asking people to stop everything they're doing, listen to your song, make decisive decisions, and put those into words. That's a big deal. That's a kind of a big deal. So be very respectful for the fact that you're asking people for their time. Nowadays, time is everything. So be patient. The next is thank the people that contribute. So after somebody gives you some information, you may not even like it, but thank them for their feedback and say, hey, I appreciate you taking the time to do that. I'll spend some time thinking about that. And then take it to heart. Think about it. But that leads to the next thing is take everything with a grain of salt. Just because somebody gave you feedback does not mean you need to change your guitar. It does not mean you need to inject a ukulele into every song. It does not mean a hand clap is needed. It does not mean you need to, pitch shift your vocal backing track or something. Just because they think it does doesn't mean you have to. The point of feedback is just to get how it sits with other people. And then you are in the driver's seat. You're producing this song. So you get to make the decision on whether or not you take that feedback and run with it. It's exciting. There's a lot of responsibility in that, but it's a lot of fun. So also, you're going to find that you're going to send sometimes a song out and get get feedback that seems very polarized and very opposite. One person's going to say, I think the drums sound way too 90s. And the next person says, these drums sound so fresh. So keep that in mind. And again, you got to kind of process that information with who said that, consider the source of that information, process that, and figure out what you're going to do with that information. Lastly is, if you want to, you can follow up with people. So then send them a direct message and just say, hey, I really liked your opinion on this. Would you help me find a tool that can do that? Or, what would your thoughts be about using this plugin for saturation or this plugin for reverb? There's nothing wrong with doing that. If they've taken the time to give you some feedback, that probably means they're okay with you sending a follow-up message and saying, hey, thank you so much for your feedback on that. How would I go about doing that? Again, be patient and you don't expect a big answer because they don't probably have a lot of time, but those are some tips. Okay, I hope that helped. The key to all of this is respect, respect, respect. Have a respectful conversation. That's what's going to get communication to be really good and for your feedback to really matter. And I hope you guys have some success doing this. If you do, let me know. I'd be really curious to know if these tips help you. Go make some great music, and I'll talk to you next time.
Lie, 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 lie.